Thor: Love and Thunder. From Taika Waititi. After his retirement is interrupted by Gore the God Butcher, galactic killer who seeks the extinction of the gods, Thor enlists the help of King Valkyrie, Korg, Jane Foster, who now inexplicably wields Mjolnir as the mighty Thor. Together they embark upon a harrowing cosmic adventure to uncover the mystery of the God Butcher's vengeance and stop him before it is too late. Marvel movie 29, I believe.
Oh, wow.
I believe Wakanda Forever is 30. Also, I want to note, I like Miss Marvel, but it has fallen off a little bit.
It has.
It is not
big time.
Agreed.
The charm of the early that's been a problem of every MCU Disney Plus show except for Loki for me.
First episode was the best episode.
Loki's the only one that has gotten, I think, better as it goes along, and I think there's a lot of obvious reasons why.
WandaVision to a degree.
WandaVision, yeah.
WandaVision got
I
better and
think
then got
WandaVision
worse.
got worse.
But I thought it got better. Like, I thought the peak of WandaVision was mid-season.
Okay, no, that's okay. I would agree with that. I just think the last episode was not good.
Yeah, agreed.
Though that is the one I'll excuse on the COVID issues because they did say it was kind of a mess to read.
And
like
Doctor Strange was supposed to show up. He really should have in that.
Yeah,
That would have been a big
insane.
bang.
But Loki's the only one that I will say that I'll say is good to really good to great range. I don't think anything else
better.
is close to that.
Yeah.
I think WandaVision maybe is close to that, but everything else not even close.
Agreed.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, they also showed Miss Marvel in like the opening crawl while we were watching.
Yes.
too. She's in the
I-
thing.
I
now, which is
noticed
kinda
that
cool.
Ms. Marvel was in
second
it.
time, yeah.
A couple of the Sam Wilson was in it
Moon
as
Knight.
Captain America.
Oh, and he got a director for his movie.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy who did the Cloverfield Paradox, one of my least favorite movies ever.
That's terrifying, by the way.
Yeah.
terrifying.
That's not a headline you read and go, oh fuck yeah. You read it and you go,
Oh no.
huh.
Yeah.
That's
People
not
said
good.
he made a movie after that was good. Loose, I think it was called.
Yes. Guy that-
I haven't seen it.
L-U-C.
that good?
Oh, yeah. Yes, good movie. Yes.
All right, so maybe he's improving.
I was thinking like loose, like Loose.
That's it.
Folks, we never want that, do we?
That's from a different streaming platform, Ken Jack.
Oh,
Big time.
I did see Loose. Loose was pretty solid. That's the one with
Yeah.
Tim Roth.
Kevin
Octavia
Harrison.
Spencer.
Tim Roth from
Octavia Spencer.
Well,
The Incredible Hulk.
many things. Incredible Hulk number one.
Tim Burton's
That's what he's
Planet of the
most
Apes.
famous for.
Yeah. He was the. He
Tim
was the,
Burton's Planet of the
He was
Apes
the main
movie.
bad ape in
Yeah.
that movie. General Ape.
General something like that. Yeah, it is. What is it?
General
Wait,
Monkey.
General Ape.
Planet of the Apes. Tim Burton. God,
It's
that
be
movie-
like something really
that
dumb, like
movie
General
fucking
Primate.
rules.
It was some really aggressive name. I gotta.
General Thade.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
cool ass
right,
name.
yeah.
That's a cool ass
Yeah.
name, though. That's sick.
What a that movie rules in all the worst ways.
Tell you what, if I had like a wide receiver on my team called Thade, I'd be like, this is
Yeah.
the coolest guy of all time.
Well, we should have included him in the draft we did.
Yeah, of cool names.
Yeah, cool football names.
General Thade.
General Fade Ralpha.
I like this movie. I'd say the movie was a blast. It's a fun fucking movie. Here's the thing: is it a fun movie that you think is good, or is it a fun movie you think is just kind of fun? It is way too fucking short. I'm gonna just say that right off the top. This could have been better than Ragnarok. This could have been one of the better Marvel movies. It is way too fucking short, and it's way too short in a sense that it just doesn't allow you to develop. I'm not going to say gore. I think gore is good enough. I think Jane's character arc suffers more than anyone else, which is a shame. Because I think even adding a little bit to like her getting Mjolnir, right? I think it's missing like 20 minutes.
That's what we
Yeah.
said. Yeah, me and Clem were saying the same thing. 20 minutes is what it needs.
I like it though. I think a lot of it comes down to though, do you like Taika Waititi's directing and writing and style of movie? For sure. I think if you don't love it, this is where you might actually fucking hate, because it is very jokey. It's a rom-com.
Yep.
This movie's a rom-com, which I appreciate. And if you know me, I appreciate the weirder Marvel movies more than anything else. I think those are the ones that will always get me in. I like this movie. I had a lot. I saw it twice. I liked it more the second time, honestly.
Same.
I think Chris Hemsworth is so fucking good in this role. Not that that's a surprise
Revolutionized
to
it, yeah.
anybody. He is as. I mean, this is maybe crazy to say. I think he's as good as Thor as Tony Stark, as Robert Downey Jr. was as Tony Stark.
And I think to his credit too, he had to basically completely turn around the character of Thor, which Iron Man never had. Robert Downey Jr. never had to do with Iron Man because he always had the right vision with it with Jon Favreau moving forward. But like they had to take Thor from being this moody bitch in the first 2 movies to being like the funniest Avenger, the most entertaining Avenger.
Yeah.
Like I would say, out of the remaining Avengers left, he is the number 1. Like he's, I think, the best Avenger that's left.
It's him and Benedict, right? Those are the 2.
He's easily the most popular.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was one of
I saw it
arguably
when
the
I was
worst.
trying to get a friggin' ticket to this movie. It was very hard to get a ticket to this movie on opening night.
Yeah. AMC broke again. That was the problem for me.
Yeah.
300 million open weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
By the way, people think like, I'm sorry, but maybe some people have superhero fatigue, Marvel fatigue. It doesn't exist overall. I was at a concert last night. I went to see 5 Seconds of Summer.
Saw that.
That's my guy, the
Yeah.
drummer, Ashton Irwin, my dude.
Oh, you know the drummer?
Yeah, who's with
that's cool.
GMA. Those are, I would say, the audience, except for me and my friend, mostly in their young 20s.
Mm-hmm.
They played the Thor: Love and Thunder trailer over the video before the movie. It's like a commercial, as loud of a scream as anything I heard all
Jesus.
night, and that was that was loud. It was screams all night. There is an undying love for Marvel that is not going away anytime soon. Like crazy screams in the trailer played.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I told my friend, I'm like, well, yeah, it's superhero fatigue.
People were going nuts in my theater opening night. It was cool. I got the double experience, the press screening and then the opening night, like Marvel fans gasping, laughing, going nuts.
Yeah.
I also think what enhanced my enjoyment of the movie was we got 2 screenings, or the press screening and then the one I went to.
Yeah.
People were uproariously laughing. It's like when you see
yeah.
a comedy with like a packed theater, it helps.
Yeah.
I think that actually helped my enjoyment of the movie twice.
Yeah.
One of the loudest laugh theaters I've ever been in was Mr. Deeds.
Oh, yeah?
Well, without a doubt, yeah.
Oh yeah, when he said he made his own Frosty, the place erupted. I dropped a couple Marvel scores recently because I did kind of a bit of a rewatch. Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness down to an 84. A bunch of them I dropped down a little bit. This slides in at an 85. I love this movie. I think it's funny as shit, and the music is amazing.
Really good.
I think
Guns N'
Taika Waititi's ability to really weave music into the movie is right up there with James Gunn. James Gunn probably a little better. But man, it's funny, it's charming. I like the rom-com aspect. I love the final battle too with all the kids. I thought it was great.
So good.
So different. It's so fun. It's weird. But man, this should have been way better. This should have been up there with Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. It really should have been. I don't know why it's so fucking short.
Yeah. And they said like the original, and don't start to release the Taika cut, but they said the original cut was like 4 hours long.
Said it this morning. He will not do
never
it.
gonna.
Yeah.
Well, because they're getting fucking sued by Lena Headey. Isn't he suing Marvel?
Lena Headey,
because she was in it, right?
Yeah, she had a scene cut. Jeff Goldblum had a scene cut.
Peter Dinklage had a scene cut.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a bummer because I think it's a really really good Marvel movie, but it's not great. It's not in the top tier, and it's not for a reason of being bad because you're just like I feel like it's missing like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Ken Jack, what'd you give it? Thoughts?
I gave it an 86, and I think that the movie, more than anything, is just kind of in sort of the same vein you were saying. It's just frustrating because you see the potential in the movie while you're watching it. You're like, this should be so much better, and it could be, like you were saying, better than Ragnarok. It could be in that elite tier, but it's just kind of hamstrung by like these little issues. Like the length was so crippling in this because you have all these cool characters, like especially Christian Bale as Gore, I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
But he has no screen time. He has less screen time than Korg. That's fucking crazy when you get an actor have the profile of Christian Bale and you don't give him enough screen time in your final edit. That's insane to me. But I thought he was fantastic. I thought a lot of the, like you were mentioning, the soundtrack, Guns N' Roses, was incredible. But it's just, you have a movie that's way too short, like a half hour too short to develop people like Natalie Portman as Lady Thor. Or no, what'd she call herself?
Mighty Thor.
Mighty Thor, yeah.
Or Dr. Jane Foster.
Dr. Jane Foster,
My theater went nuts when she said that.
Yeah.
You saw a bunch of doctors in your theater.
I was stunned. I was like,
Yeah.
that's the line that we went nuts for?
But yeah, when you have a movie that you want to develop both of those characters again, you want to redevelop Natalie Portman and you want to develop Gore the God Butcher, you need more time for them to like kind of set in. On the other hand of things, though, I think it's one of the funniest Marvel movies. It's like really a pure comedy in that sense. Like you mentioned it too with the laughs. That's like the most I've heard a theater laugh in years upon years upon years.
Yeah.
Like it is so goddamn funny. Like even the bit with the Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, like with the ex-girlfriend shit.
The
That was
jealous
a brilliant
ex-girlfriend,
bit.
yeah.
It was so
That,
funny.
The goats, people loved the goats.
I didn't
in
like
our
that.
theater.
The goats were too. It was funny the first time. Then I was like, all right, I'm done with the goats.
Both times, people were going nuts for the goats. I was like, all right, the fucking goats. That's a meme from about a decade ago, but we're in.
Yeah, we're back in with it. But there's a couple other things I really liked with it too, like the some of the battle sequences, like you're mentioning. The kid one I thought specifically was really cool. I think the final fight between Thor and Gore was a little bit underwhelming in a sense. Like it was just pretty standard. I thought they could have done something. Maybe it's because we're a little spoiled because we saw like the music fight between Strange and other Strange. But there's, I think, just the humor is the big thing that takes us up a level compared to like more sloppy movies, and that's just really Taika Waititi's influence. And partially what knocks it down though is that it was a little tonally messed up, if that makes sense. Like the comedy was undercut by like, oh yeah, Jane has cancer.
Yeah.
Like that's very tough things to have like in the same movie when you're really jammed into the short runtime where you have to develop all these other things as well. Special effects were wonky at points. The mask was fucked. Like people mentioned that
mask and
both of
them. Yeah.
They were
fucked up. There was one scene on the Omnipotent City where she just puts the mask on and like it looks like so.
I think I've lost my ability to recognize bad CGI. It doesn't bother. I just don't. I just don't see it.
The worst scene for me in this was the very first scene where you see like a god with a big gold headdress.
Yeah, that one is bad.
That looked so bizarre.
I thought when he's talking to Heimdall's son, Axel, and Axel's face pops up. Yeah, I thought that
looked like something Quiggs could do.
But yeah, I'm with Jeff. The CGI stuff really never bothers me too much.
Yeah,
but I actually think the first god. I think we have not learned how to do regular sized humans as larger humans.
That's what I thought it might have been.
You notice that?
Yeah.
We can't do big
scale
people.
them up.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
James Cameron has.
Yeah, he figured it out. There's a couple other things too, just like minor issues, I would say. But other than that, like it's just fun. It's entertaining, and I think that's the primary usage or primary point of existence for every Marvel movie. Like you're not going there for super prestige or anything like that. Trying to think of what else was kind of bothersome. I just really wish it was longer though. That's the
for me that was my really only complaint because I again the music I fucking loved. Chris, the first thing I thought of was I figured you would hate the humor. You must have despised the humor. The humor is so not up your alley.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. Jojo Rabbit is one of my 20 favorite movies of all time.
No, I just meant this movie.
Oh, okay. I love the first third of this movie. I thought it was awesome because it was everything I hoped it would be. The music was great. The action was great.
I like that first go. By the way, to what you just said, the god looked her, but I did think the opening Gore part was like great.
That was a great scene. Great scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff with the Guardians, I mean, they're in this very little. So if you're coming to this movie expecting to see a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy,
but did you think they were woven in well? Because I was like, oh, that was kind of a nice like addition. Like it makes sense, and then I
wanted to see way more of them. Was my
Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wonder if James Gunn put a stop to that. Was like, no, you can't do that.
I don't know if they did, but I wonder if it was a contract thing with them where they're like, we're not. Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering that too. But
they also just clearly didn't have the time for whatever reason. So
right, yeah.
Include that.
So I love the first third. I thought it was excellent, and I'm like, man, I was hearing some mixed things about it, but this is great. The problem is the movie becomes what I was worried it was going to be because we all really like Thor Ragnarok a lot, but when I came out of Thor Ragnarok, I said, wow, that was really good. That was easily the best Thor movie, and there are still people. It's a little bit like No Way Home. There's people who think I don't like that movie because I don't think it's the best movie ever. It's the one Marvel there's people who think that movie is better than any Avengers movie. I just don't get that. I think it's good. I think it's a lot of fun. And here, this movie doubles, triples, and quadruples down on the few things I didn't like about Ragnarok, which is there's no point where the movie ever takes itself seriously at all, which would be fine. But you have these bits of humor that go on and on and on. A lot of them very awkward, a lot of them very unfunny. And you guys are talking about the runtime. I have no issue with the runtime. I have an issue with the pacing because you have that scene with Russell Crowe that is 10 minutes longer than it should have been. You could have used that runtime to enhance Gore's character. You could have used that to develop Natalie Portman's character. And you brought it up as well, Ken Jack. Tonally, this thing is such a mess. I mean, you have a character, and it's weird because it's written by Taika, who did Jojo Rabbit, which is a comedy that is set during maybe the darkest part, like in the history of the modern world, right? Like the Holocaust, like the worst thing of all time. And yet, no point in that movie did it ever feel awkward. Here, you have a character who is dying of cancer, like as bad as an event can possibly be. And yet it's interwoven with fucking hijinks. Like I thought somebody was going to trip on a fucking banana peel at some point, given the way that like the humor was going in this movie. So I I understand why people are liking it. It is well directed. I love the Shadow Realm sequence. I think
that
that's
was
the one
really
sequence.
cool.
That's the one sequence where the movie gets back on its Ritalin and actually settles down for a second, and you see Gore being a threat. And Christian Bale, like one of the great actors of all time, stepping in here. And I would have liked to have seen more of him. And you get to the end, because I was really waiting for the very tail conclusion. Because one thing about JoJo that I love, one thing about Ragnarok that I really liked, and even like some of his, zanier movies, like What We Do in the Shadows, have a heart to them that's kind of undeniable. So I was waiting to get to the end of the movie and like, all right, here's where they're going to pull at the heartstrings. I'm going to tear up. And I just realized, like, you know what? Jane Foster's just kind of boring. And the movie just didn't really move me the way I wanted it to. And so I'm not crazy about this. I like it more than Doctor Strange. My rating might not reflect what I gave Doctor Strange at the time, but at least I appreciate the fact that this was really attempting to be its own narrative. I think that the problem I had with Doctor Strange is the movie stops for 45 minutes so Jim Halpert can play cosplay. But beyond that, no, I mean, typical curmudgeon shit on my end. But I had the movie have made me laugh the way Ragnarok did, I would have totally let it pass. But yeah, I think that there's just too many inconsistencies here from a narrative standpoint for me to really recommend it.
What did you think of? I know you mentioned Russell Crowe. I thought Russell Crowe was awesome in this.
Yeah, see, I love that.
He's one of the funniest characters.
That's probably a big difference between us and you. I actually loved that scene.
He was
I thought
amazing.
It was tremendous.
He was so funny.
I stole the movie for me.
I liked the way it started. I just thought it went on and on and on for so long, to a point where I was just kind of bored by it. And also, Marvel is exceptional with continuity. I feel like, I mean, even beyond, you look at Star Wars or X-Men, like there are lapses everywhere. Marvel's pretty good. And maybe I missed something because I don't really like this in movies. Was it ever established at any point in the previous movies that Heimdall had a kid?
I don't think so. I don't think they mentioned on purpose.
Like, this is a nitpick, but I kind of don't like that. Where it's just like, oh hey, it's like they do that when they bring in the zany cousin in the 7th season of a sitcom. It's like, hey, he's got a kid now. Like, okay, I don't.
Axel? He's like, I want to call me Axel.
Called Axel.
Yeah, he's like, call me Axel.
And Korg in the background's like, G&R, bro.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
Damn, I had to follow up on the
Russell's
thing.
Russell
Crowe, and we're in spoiler sections of Hercules, maybe.
The end. I did. Oh no, I think to the point of the end though, I liked Gore's end. I thought that was a nice way to do it, as opposed to like, oh, he's just gonna get blown up by Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. Like,
I was more clear on what was happening the second time I felt. Did you feel the same way? The whole
actual wish
spoilers
sequence.
We're going into the eternity thing. Like confusing on the first watch a little bit.
Oh,
where
see,
I was like, what's going on here?
I liked how that ended though, and that's which is kind of funny because look at some of the endings for like the best Marvel villains. They all kind of have unorthodox endings.
Killmonger, I think I've read.
Thanos. You could argue Thanos' main movie, he doesn't even die.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
The Thanos people like. The Thanos people really recognize.
He has a very
peaceful
ending because he dies with the reverse snap.
Yeah.
Killmonger basically kills himself. Yeah. Kind of. He's just like, no, let me just die.
Yeah.
And then Gore dies, but dies like happy because his kid comes back.
They subverted the expectation too, because while we were watching, the second that they mentioned, oh yeah, we have this thing that can grant any wish. I'm like, oh, he's gonna wish away her cancer. Yeah.
Which I like a lot. But see, I think that's it. The weird thing I wrote in my written review was I liked every place we were in this movie. There was never a point where I'm like, come on, let's go. I just wish there was more of certain things, especially the Jane Foster stuff, because it would have made her end significantly more impactful.
Agreed. She was the one we needed the most of,
Where I wouldn't say that about Ragnarok. Where truly, like, some of the stuff on Asgard and Ragnarok, I was like, all right, let's go. Let's speed it up already. Let's get back to Sakaar. So, but overall, Ragnarok was just a better movie by a solid step up. Robbie, you've seen it twice. Thoughts?
I agree with pretty much everything you guys have said about the runtime, about Ragnarok being better. I am like a Taika Waititi stan. I love his sense of humor. Korg is my favorite MCU side character. everything Korg says makes me laugh. So I was definitely a little bit biased in that way. I'm a Guns N' Roses fan. So this movie, I mean, you get Terminator 2 uses Guns N' Roses, great. And then you get The Wrestler, where he comes out to Sweet Child of Mine at the end of that movie. And that is like one of my favorite uses of a song in a movie. And that's actually because Mickey Rourke called up Axl Rose and was like, hey, you know, I don't know if we have the budget for Sweet Child of Mine, but can we just use it? And he was like, send me the movie. He watched it and he was like, fuck it, use it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then the ending of this, the final Guns N' Roses song that they use, I think beats all of them.
Is it November Rain in the middle?
It's November Rain for the final battle. It's this guitar solo. And that was just like an instantly iconic MCU moment to me in the same way that the Immigrant Song was in Ragnarok, I felt. And I love the actual ending, like the final line from Korg where he kind of like, I guess, reveals the title. Like they call them Love and Thunder. I thought that was such a nice like ribbon on the movie.
I thought in general like the usage of the kids was nice because I think
that could have been a disaster and it wasn't. So
and not even a disaster. It could have just been so. It could have been very like Finn and Rose, Last Jedi. You know, where you're like, I kind of feel like that was a waste of time now. Like
it's like funny lines, like when the kid was like, "Just get out of here." Like
it was a creepy scene when Gore was in there, but I like that like it wasn't just Thor and Jane releasing them and they're back. Like they had to be used. Which I thought was like a really nice way to integrate them and again feel different. That's all I really like. That's why Ms. Marvel has kind of fallen. It was different at first and now it's not anymore. It feels like just everything else.
Agreed.
And the more, again, that's a preference thing. The more Marvel MCU movies specifically stray away from the same, I'm just going to kind of like them more. And that's it. It was like, I mean, it's not like revolutionary to have the kids fight. Like there are big battles, but it was something that, like I said, it subverted expectations.
The movie as a whole, though, is like you said, like a romantic comedy. Like being able to tell that to people, like, oh, the MCU has a romantic comedy. We could watch this one. Like that's a drawing factor for me as well in the variety, like adding the variety to the MCU. I like that.
Yeah.
But I wanted, of course, another 20 minutes onto it.
I also wanted like more Valkyrie, wanted more like a lot of characters.
Valkyrie, more gore, more. I mean, we got enough Thor.
I'm surprised Valkyrie hasn't been given a show yet.
Yeah, that
out
is
of all the
surprising.
things that they've decided to move forward with, that
Tessa
like
Thompson
that feels
too busy?
like the probably actually.
You know,
Creed and all that.
I saw a Vanity Fair interview where it was Taika and Tessa Thompson, and they were just like talking about scenes in the movie, and they basically make fun of the CGI and they make fun of the editing, which is wonky at points. And like, I was like, that's a weird way to market your own movie, where it's like, we fucked these things up.
She was good on Hot Ones.
She was good on Hot Ones, yeah.
He's been on this press tour, and I love Taika. Kind of maybe this is just his sense of humor, but kind of a giant prick.
I mean, he's the most insincere person maybe in the world.
Okay, I'm glad because I love his movies, but like, did you see the thing he said about director's cuts where he goes, all director's cuts suck and I never watch them or something like that? He was like, because they asked him about the cut scenes from this movie and he goes, there's no director's cut. Director's cuts are stupid. All of them are bad.
That's got to be
that was like a blanket statement like that.
It's got to be a top-down thing from Marvel because I think every single time a director gets asked about director's cuts, they all just kind of shut it down immediately.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. There's been 29 Marvel movies, and not a single one has even like entertained the idea.
They do sometimes do a little. They release those deleted scenes, but even then, it's not.
They're gonna be at Hall H, by the way.
I saw that
at Comic-Con, which is
they're revealing some X-Men '97
I can't wait for
that.
First look.
It's gonna be like a mega panel. I don't know what they're gonna show, but they've kind of reserved those typically for D23.
Do you think first look at Wakanda Forever?
Oh, I'm actually shocked we haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah,
that's
November, right?
When does that come out?
I think like November 11th, 12th.
D23 is in September in Anaheim, so you will get a lot of stuff at D23, but I think they just kind of want to take back Comic-Con a little bit. So there's going to be some big stuff there. There's also going to be...
Marvel not doing Hall H at Comic-Con would be so weird.
Yeah.
But they've kind of skipped out on it, though.
But, like, why? That's such a weird, like, come on. You're not bigger than Comic-Con.
D23 was, like, the big reveal for the last time they did this, but that was over... It was over YouTube.
Yeah, it was
because of COVID.
I don't think DC's doing fandom this year either. I think they're going straight back to Comic-Con.
We've seen them reveal Black Adam and DC fandom 20 times.
I liked fandom.
Every DC property is going to Comic-Con except for the Flash. I think.
Exactly.
Well, and then there's a huge Black Adam Hall H event.
That you could say that about the last like 15 Comic-Cons. Everyone's like, oh yeah, we're doing Black Adam this time. Do you remember
and the Flash?
DC fandom. I remember watching The Rock introducing Black Adam, and this had to be 3 years ago. When he's like, yeah, I got Black Adam coming out soon. Still not out.
Did you see the Air cut at Cut Air on Twitter said most electrifying one in the DCEU? Has Black Adam seen what fried Dr. Brains look like? Hashtag release the Air cut. And The Rock replied no because Black Adam doesn't give a fuck.
That was great. Shout out Dwayne.
That's a good one, Rocky.
I loved that.
That's like
I love him shutting down.
I kind of like to think that is actually The Rock. Like
Yeah.
there are some tweets that are very clearly his team, and there's some that are very clearly him. I like that that's him. He's like,
Oh, I think that's him.
he's like, oh, hold on a second, I'm replying to this.
Yeah, I think
Shut
that's
the
him.
fuck up.
Just like when he replied to me with the Tom Cruise ask because I was promoting Zoa in it. That was definitely him. For sure not an intern that did that.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think scores may differ. We all kind of have the same feeling on it. I think we may like it a little different up and down. But I think the consistent, the Jane Foster stuff, I wish there was more. Would have added a little more weight to it because I think if you're going to put such a heavy story like the cancer thing into the movie, you need to have either more of it because if it's too little of it, it's kind of like, oh, hold on,
That was a weird plot
give us a
device to
second.
use, yeah.
Yeah,
Give us a
it
quick
was too
second.
little.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it works, and that is not like a new thing they made up. That is a Jane Foster, I believe, right? That's a Jane Foster comic origin.
Yeah. I didn't think they were going to do that either.
I thought everyone assumed she was just going to be Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They thrust you into it right away. The first time you see her, she's like coming out of an MRI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I just wish it was more sincere at points. That's really my only complaint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that scene in the Shadow Realm in all black and white when
They use,
they're
like, a
all
torch,
kind of
yeah.
held up and Gore is like talking to each one of them.
amazing.
He's called
In
the
ter- in
axe,
terms of-
going off to like that was awesome.
More of that. More
Yeah.
gore.
Yeah.
You have Christian Bale. Use him, dude.
Atheist Bale in this one.
Atheist Bale, yeah,
the
that's true.
biggest offender for me, the biggest problem or the biggest scene that really offended me during this movie was they're in New Asgard and they're like all the kids had just been taken. They're all in there freaking out,
Yeah.
and Thor appears, looks like he's about to go up and give like a big speech and rally everyone. He gives a speech and then it just kind of goes off into like jokes and he jumps to the ceiling and it just kind of falls apart. And I was like, damn, I kind of wish Thor had just given a speech and gotten everyone together, like stepped up, been the hero there. And I was like, just be sincere for that moment. There's a couple moments in the movie where I'm like, just tone the joke down, be sincere for 2 seconds, and then get back into the movie.
Yeah. The tone gets messed up there, yeah.
Yeah, which is weird because Taika's so good at balancing that. I mean,
True.
Yeah.
Hunt for the Wilder People, JoJo, even Thor
Yeah.
Ragnarok balances a lot of that.
It-
It's close to being great. It really is so close to being a great movie for me.
I really do think that with Thor, because like the one issue people had with the first two Thor movies, mainly the second one, I actually like the first one quite a bit and think it's underrated, but is that they felt like he was a little bit bland, and really right around, I would say Age of Ultron, but especially with Ragnarok, he became, a lighter character, a funnier character. I wonder if they've overcompensated too much in that
Possible.
direction, because you have scenes like the one that Goot just mentioned where it's like you kind of want that big heroic Thor moment and you don't really get it. I thought the way they used him in Endgame was brilliant, but yeah.
I was gonna say Infinity War
Yeah.
Thor is like peak Thor for me.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's his, yeah.
I mean, that's
His entrance in that
probably
movie.
my favorite scene from
Him
all
with
the
the,
MCU.
yeah.
him with the Guardians, like making all those jokes, I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, him with the Guardians was very funny. His
He was good with the
his comedic
Guardians in this
timing
movie
is
too. In the
incredible.
brief time he spent with the Guardians, I
Yeah.
thought he was funny when he gives them their own ship.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
Take this.
Yeah, that was
Spartan
right. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just, I think that there's just like a fine line you got to walk with it. And for Thor, like in those first two movies, he was basically like a DC character in the middle of
Yeah.
the MCU,
Yeah.
where it's like just this gloomy, depressed asshole that no one likes. And like they turn him into, I like how he's more lighthearted now because I think Chris Hemsworth has great comedic chops.
Oh, he's so
He's
He's
funny.
come
Very
along
funny.
so
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that where they are right now is
No,
where
I-
Thor should stay more than anything else. But I do agree that it does hurt when you're trying to give a dramatic moment and it's hard to like undercut what you've now turned the character into.
Yeah.
I have a
But
hot take. I think I think Thor 2 is underrated. I think it's better.
You're
than
probably the only
first
human
one.
being that thinks
I
that.
know. I think I'm the only
That-
person.
No, that take has been showing up more and more on
It's a
Twitter
properly
lately.
rated movie.
It's becoming Thor 2 is
people,
actually
people
underrated.
act like it's like the worst MCU movie by far. I would rather watch Thor 2 than Iron Man 3. I'd rather
No.
watch Thor 2 than the first Thor. I'd rather watch Thor 2 than Incredible Hulk.
I think I would agree on the Dark World Iron Man 3, but that's like at that point, you mean you're talking about.
The bottom barrel.
Listen, it's towards the bottom for sure, but I don't think it's the no doubt worst like people act
Malekith.
like it is.
Malekith.
Do you like it more
the
than
Dark
Eternals?
Elf.
Do you like it more than Eternals, Robbie?
I might. I don't know. Like Eternals,
I do
hate,
too.
but yeah,
I might
I
too.
do too.
yeah, it's more
Yeah.
fun than Eternals, right?
It's the depressing ass movie. It's pretty fucking. It's very dark. Like
The
even the
scene with
filters that
Loki-
Bernal uses in it, it's like
The,
so
the scene
dark.
with Loki on the green atmosphere planet, where like he kind of dies, but then comes back and all that. Like that's a sick scene.
The making fun of Loki dying over and over again was very funny.
Oh, the tattoo that he got on the back of
The
his
R.I.P.
back.
Loki.
and
Yeah.
the tattoo
was
bit
good.
was
R.I.P.
funny.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I like how they did that too in this movie. They did a good job of, I think, like recapping anything for people that maybe didn't watch Thor
Oh,
movies. Either
agreed.
someone else. They did like, here's everything you need to know, and now we can move forward.
You did not have to see the first two Thor
Yeah.
movies to enjoy this.
Very universal humor too. Not a lot of it was like tied into other MCU stuff.
Yeah, and it was refreshing not getting mention of the multiverse. I
Yes.
will say that.
Yes, to go away from
Yeah.
multiverse
Yes.
stuff was nice for a little bit.
Do some,
So that's Thor: Love and
post-credits,
Thunder.
or should we mention, yeah?
I mean, I really don't have much to say about the post credits scene.
It was
I mean, the first post credit scene.
It was cool.
yeah.
I was pretty.
Wait, you're
stoked
talking
with
about the Valhalla one or the?
that. the Hercules one.
Okay, yeah, the Hercules one was cool.
Yeah.
Because that's what's his name from?
Roy Kent. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah,
I don't know what
from-
his real name is.
Oi,
He's
cunt.
Roy Kent.
Yeah. It's just so funny seeing him because he looks, and it just lends credence to that whole theory that he's actually not a real person and
Yep.
just a CGI person
Yep.
because he was extremely CGI'd in that post credit. But I don't know.
The next movie could literally be titled Thor versus Hercules.
I would love that.
That would be awesome.
I would love that. My God.
I'll tell you what wasn't CGI. Idris Elba's wig.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
dreads.
Big time.
Also when Natalie Portman showed up in that, it was like it was weird when she was just like, oh.
Yeah,
I did not
yeah.
like that.
Like-
I did not like
That's
that.
a bad-
I like
That's-
the thought of that scene, catching up with them. Like, all right, that's a nice.
I think that's
wholesome
something
thing,
you
but-
save for the next Thor or another movie. I don't think you. I think
Yeah.
you kind of leave her dead
Yeah,
for the time
Yeah.
being.
I
You know what I
think-
mean?
I think you're right about that. Yeah.
We
Would have been
I
nice
didn't-
seeing Heimdall looking down like, oh, Thor took care of my son
Yeah.
or something like that.
Ooh.
Catching up with him in that way, but
Did like them bringing back all the actors, like having
Oh,
Matt Damon as Loki again, and then
bringing
like the
in
whole
Melissa
bit
McCarthy too.
where they're like, "Is it too soon to start making something about this?"
Yeah.
And like, "There's never too soon for art." And
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was pretty
I
funny.
did not hear a no.
Yeah, I did. Let's get to work. I thought that was pretty funny.
Also, all the actors' kids.
oh,
were
and
the
Melissa
kids in
McCarthy.
the movie.
Melissa
Yeah,
McCarthy, too.
yeah,
yeah,
Chris
a lot of
Hemsworth's
fun.
daughter is Love.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I thought the ending scene was very yeah, like you said earlier.
Bale's
Yeah.
kids were in
yeah.
there. Rex Bale.
Yeah, Rex Bale, great name.
The
Bale.
one
Rex.
screener thing is I broke my pee record. Quickest return to the bathroom I've ever had. I went to the bathroom.
You were quick.
By the way, I'm great at sensing the moment. I got up for a moment. I looked it up on Wikipedia once the movie came out. I didn't miss shit.
No, you
miss
didn't.
anything. I'm good at sensing the moment. And then I went to the bathroom, sat back down for it had to have been 90 seconds. And I don't know that you heard me, but I leaned into Rob and I said, "This is unreal." And I got up and I walked out again.
Yeah.
I had a full ass pee. It was a full
That's
pee
crazy.
followed by another full pee 90 seconds later.
That ain't right. You're black.
I didn't even finish the whole Diet Coke.
And I drank 2 banana ices.
I don't think you pissed once.
I
That's
didn't.
crazy.
I might not.
we
There might
got
be
there,
no
we got
liquid
there
in there.
so
though.
fucking early
Get
too.
there like an hour
I
early.
polished off the. I didn't eat lunch that day. I polished off the whole tub of popcorn before we even.
Same. My
before the movie
popcorn was gone
started.
before the movie started.
It was good though because we actually got a seat this time, which was nice.
Yeah. That
Guy in
was
front of me dumped in. Guy in front of me dumped in Sour Patch Kids and peanut M&Ms.
I saw that. Yeah,
That's too much.
too much.
That's too
I
many
don't like that.
flavors.
I don't like the Sour Patch Kid texture with the popcorn texture.
Yeah, didn't. Like
Also, I'll go off what Richard Roper told me when I met him at the Barstool Chicago office. Did a pod with him and Eddie, a dog walk. He said, I mean, he's like an OG. I mean, Ebert and Roper, like OG
Yeah.
movie review guy. He said, don't take notes in a theater if you're going to do reviews. Saw two people behind
always
us
hate
taking
that.
intense notes. He goes, you're going to take notes maybe like the second time. He said, like, well, watch the movie in full.
as a viewer.
Like, watch it.
And now I'm someone who just
Yeah.
got up and peed 3 times in the movie. But you get the point is, don't have your head in a notebook if you're gonna. I'll never do that.
No, I
Was
I
that
never
old
do that
fuck? He
myself.
brought out like
That's-
the leather-bound book every time we'd have to see.
Yeah,
a movie with him, the New
yeah,
York
that-
Times guy. Oh my god,
Guy stinks.
That's
Richard
funny because Roger Ebert was famous for taking notes during movies.
Yeah, Robert's like, no, I
His
never.
old partner.
And he asked me, do you take notes? He goes, never.
But he
goes, "I
also
never
thought
do
Home
that."
Alone 3 was better than Home
Yeah,
Alone
it's
1,
true.
so
Keep-
maybe he
grain
was
of salt.
distracted.
Grain of salt.
That's it. Thor. I don't know what we're gonna do next week. We gotta figure that out
Cherry could do.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
Cherry?
of Russo Brothers,
Cherry.
The Gray
Yeah,
Man
Tom
is
Holland
out,
movie?
but The Gray Man is out in theaters then Netflix week after. I think we're gonna wait for it to come out on Netflix because I think just more people are gonna see it.
Yeah.
We are interviewing them today, so that will be out.
Yeah.
Sure. I wonder if
Are they coming in?
No.
No.
Zoom over in a few hours.
what else is there? Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank.
Yeah. I watched that animated sea movie. I think it's called The Beasts of the Sea. Or Sea
Book
Beasts.
clubs are screaming everywhere because Where the Crawdads Sing comes out this week.
I think it's going to be really good.
But the moms book clubs are going to be fucking flocking to that.
Daisy
shit.
Edgar Jones, she's just hot right now.
Everything.
She's hot right now.
She is in absolutely everything. I can't watch anything without seeing her face, which I don't mind. She's a good actress.
That's it though. Robbie, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
For Ken, Jack, Chris Castellani, I'm Jeff D'Lo. We will talk to you next time.